Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Optimus Frank and this is my review of War for Cybertron Trilogy Leader Class Astrotrain. I've always been a fan of Astrotrain. He's one of the first triple changers along with Blitzwing, and I have yet to have a Blitzwing. If any of you recommend one in particular, tell me which and why in the comments. So I'm starting this review of Astrotrain from his rocket mode so that you see what I want to see. In the cartoon, one of his feats is that he helped Decepticons retreat in the 1987 Transformers movie after the duel between Optimus and Megatron. So a number of surviving Decepticons are supposed to fit inside. Beat up Megatron was inside. Starscream was inside. Thundercracker was inside. A Voyager-sized Skywarp was in there. Well, this is all I could find because he's so elusive to find on stores. Soundwave was in there too. The Insecticons were there. The Coneheads were in there. I don't have Coneheads, but these Duocons stand for like 2 extra bodies. Devastator was in there. Okay, this isn't Devastator, this is Bruticus, but the point is, a whole combiner and all of these other bodies can fit inside the Astrotrain. Even if they did cut the dead weight, they still all fit inside, and they had room to fight. My point is that I think Astrotrain should have been upgraded like Jetfire into a commander class. I wanted to start off with these Micromasters here because they're the closest thing we can see to that idea. What I mean, to the proportion, or I mean, they should be even smaller compared to how big he's supposed to be, or he claims to be, or the idea. But I think this is the closest we'll get. He's armored around the front of the hull with parts that hint that he is also a train or a locomotive. I don't like, however, that they did the back of his ship. It looks like its inside parts are exposed here in the back of the hull. And aside from that, I like everything else. I mean, he can rotate on the stand here, which is a nice little touch. Once you lodge it on, he can rotate, which is great. There are ports inside to plug things into, which is why I had the Micromasters there. And I like that in this form there are like hidden tank treads here, and right here, and oh, sorry, I'll pick that up in a second, but just to point this out, you do have treads on the side that are nicely etched, and it indicates that this is supposed to roll. Let me put this back on, and another little detail, when these come out, these little wheels go in, but when this little black panel here, when you slip it into this little sleeve here, it goes in and it pushes the wheel out, and making the wheel more present and functional. So another way, as per the instructions, that the way they want him, or the way they recommend he use this is if you fold these panels in like this, and you let it rest like that, and he's supposed to roll as some sort of rig or car or something. Perhaps if they had something here they pull him with, maybe he can be pulled this way or that way. But one little thing I don't like is that it's not really flat. This little part here doesn't really, this one here doesn't really go, there's nothing in its way, but it's too tight. Let's get a closer look. Here's that siege damage, that it's more present during in this mode. They have some nice detail in the front, on the side, aside from this part here. I mean, I think they were aiming for a Cybertronian look, but it just looks like they forgot to add the paneling there, like a job half done, really. Here's the bottom, and there's also detail there on the bottom. These train wheels stand as landing gear also. And yeah, it's not a bad job. Him into his train mode, and it's usually a pretty simple transition. So first we flip these panels back. If you want, there are a number of ways to start. You can take this hole, the front hole, and you open it. But when you open it, you can split the legs up too, because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to change this front. That's the main part of the transformation. So let me split it up. Best way to open it, dig your nail in here and pop it out. Then you flip this over, rotate it, and there's the front of the locomotive right here. Now, before you slam that together, you want to take this out and this out, and now you can slam it together. Well, one more part. You got to take this little part here, and it's not much of a movement, but you want to, even if you have to dig your fingernail down, this little bottom comes out, pops down just like that, and so does this. just like that. And then once those are lowered, then you can put it together for the front of to form the front of the locomotive. Sometimes this does come up, so let me pop it down one more time there. And now this will come together like that. Then you can put his paneling right there. Just flip it back right here. And that should go together just like that. Now, the back panels, these flip down just like that. But you know what, let me bring it back up, because before you do that, you want to take these little panels here and flip them. They go just like that. Those are going to be the back wheels. So you flip that down just like that. And these snap in right there. This side also falls in. Maybe I should have done this last, but yeah, that's how it goes. And then the bottom, this actually, I'm going to take this out of the way so this snaps out. Actually, let me take this off. And there, that doesn't need to be there. This needs to be closed. And this panel folds in like that. And this goes in just like that. Snaps in. And then you can close this back up. And this goes back in just like, let me do that again. That goes back in. Then you can close this panel right there and make it all a tight fit. Now, make sure, see that little thing has to go under there. That has to cover. And now you have his train. Now, before I show you this in more detail, he has a caboose or an extra cart that attaches the back here. So let me take this real fast. This folds up into a box, just like that. You want to fold this panel up. And it's just a pretty neat box, that's all it is. It has tabs, you just push in here and there, and the lid just closes, just like that. Okay, and that's it. So you're going to take this and make sure this, I guess, tri-port goes in. And there you go. He is in his train mode. When you take his weapons, you can plug them in any way you want. You have multiple ports. You have a port on top here, there. You also have ports on the bottom if you want to put them away there. It's up to you. But the directions recommend you put it this way. So this one goes right here like that. These big guns, which are different, they go here in the middle, and these non-traditional looking ports. And then these, because they have side pegs, go in here and there. And he is in his train mode. It rolls very nicely. Here's his train mode. Like the launch pad turns into this caboose, and he's all weaponed up. And just to give you a closer look, they hit the nail on the head because they were aiming for this old style looking locomotive. Let me tighten that up a little bit. Yeah. So, this is a pretty good version of the old school locomotive. There's detail all around. That looks just like an old school or even a modern day locomotive. If you Google modern day locomotive, it'll look something like this, especially the front. Yeah. And the bottom, he has that shuttle detail. And you see his face there on the bottom, but you can turn that around if you'd like. Now, one thing that I do have to say about this Astrotrain is he's so Earth-like. And for Siege, you know, was hoping to see more Cybertronian versions of these bots. And, you know, I kind of wish with Astrotrain they could have, you know, taken a risk and made him into something else other than an Earth-like locomotive or an Earth-like space shuttle from the 80s or something. So let's get him into his robot mode. Let's take out these weapons here. Put them to the side. Oh, there is a way to store these weapons in there. I haven't figured it out yet, but there is a way. You have ports inside, and you can attach them here and there. But I'll show you more on the weapons later, and I'll try to fit them in. Anywho, so first you're going to take out the caboose. It's like calling it a caboose. It's probably an extra cart, whatever. So let's turn him into a robot. First things first, I want to loosen this up here, and we want to work on this middle section here. Let's pry it apart. And these are going to become his feet. So first thing to do, I guess, where does one start? Take these apart just like that. Flip these back the way they were. Before we do that, let's bring this in, bring that in, and then we pull them out, pull them apart. Then you can, it's enough, has enough freedom to turn back around. Then you can shut them, you can put them back to where they were, or just close them up. Oh wait, that has to be pushed in here, like that, and now you can close them up. Now, you want to take these little parts here, these little panels, they fold out, and they form his feet. Right there. Now we have his feet. So we want to take these panels and flip them back the way they were, just like that. Fold this out, just like this, and we see his head. We take this little cap off right here, and then this detaches and folds back down just like that. And then these arms come across like that, and then just put that there. We're almost there. Make sure they are closed. Unfold his arms. Turn his bicep at a 180, and then you unfold his fists. And we're not done quite yet, but make sure that snaps. And we just have to do his hip panels. And here he is in his robot mode. Now, can you imagine how giant he'd be if he were a commander class? I mean, he would be a monster, and rightly so, I think. But here he is. I think his robot mode is the best mode as far as looks are concerned. I appreciate the detail they put into him all around with the Cybertronian etching and all. I mean, here in this mode, he looks his most Cybertronian, I think. I mean, all of this has the effect of making him look more deadlier, I think. I mean, he's come a long way. He's lost the ghost face. He also has this really nice yellow streak there as far as the paint job is. He's a nice blend of yellow, red. He has mostly gray, and he has this purple here. Now, he has more red in this one. I think, I mean, there are nice things. I do like this one, and yeah, I do like the ghost face. One thing I don't like so much, and I like that they abandoned this. I mean, they made a great decision by putting this little wing here, which kind of looks like an old school tacky tuxedo or like a ruffle tux or something. And they moved it down to his abs. It makes him look beefier. It gives him that more cut look, you know, and bigger all around. His head is on a ball joint. You can look in just about every direction. His arms rotate at 360. He can't do this all the way because his wings are in the way, but that's okay. His biceps also rotate at 360. His elbow is kind of double jointed, so it'll go all the way beyond the 90 degree. His wrists do not rotate though, however, but that's because it has this hollow harness. They fold in, and both arms are the same. His waist rotation is a 360 for such a big figure. And his legs, although they are bulky, they do bend, but they don't bend the 90 degree because these wings are in the way. He has that 180 degree thigh rotation, of course, and he has the ankle tilt, and yeah, his articulation is pretty good. And yeah, I overall like his the look of his robot mold. So here are his weapons, and it seems that, I mean, he is like a Voyager size, but nowadays what makes him a commander is how many more weapons he gets and how you can arm him. Apparently with this figure, that's kind of what it is. So his first weapon is this, one of my favorite, is this chain gun. It has some detail inside the barrel, and along the outside of the barrel too, you have, it looks just like a chain gun with a scope. And then you have his main blaster here, the larger blaster. So when you hold it upside down, it looks like a shotgun almost, the way you can cock it back and forth. But we have this, and we have this little rocket launcher attachment here. Then we have these, one is left, one is right. And you have these little blasters too, with about 3 ports that you can put them into, or you can attach them just about anywhere. Even this one has a place where you can put some damage effects or blast effect. And what's neat about this one is the barrel. The barrel is kind of open on the top, which I think is a pretty nice detail. So these do go together. First off, you you connect the larger barrel with this little port here, and that goes like this. Then you want to take this little rocket attachment and you put it on the bottom right there like that. Then these can attach on the side, and he has this super long, well, it looks like a light machine gun of sorts, but it's, when you look at it, it's almost as tall as he is, and it looks like he has to double arm this. It can touch the floor and stuff. It's just really heavy duty. So this is one thing you can do with his weapons. As per the instructions, what they recommend is that, ooh, that came off. This does come off easy, by the way, but recommends that these go up top here like this. So these, and of course you can put these in any way you want. This goes on his gauntlet like so. And these arms, these unique guns go here in each arm, right there, and he looks like this. Now with his launch pad, someone enables him to be weaponized, so this comes out, and it goes under his feet. Doesn't give him much height, but at least it gives him those tank treads on the bottom. Not sure if it will make him go faster, but there it is so far. Not much of a height difference. But he's going to need that extra base on his back, because with this attachment, it tends to put more weight on his back. So you're supposed to take this and you put it together, and then you just hangs off the back of his back there. And I'm not too wild about this. I mean, just because it's really no purpose in it, really. I mean, what do you do? Are you supposed to put another robot in there? I don't know. Do I have a? I don't have a deluxe. Here you go. I mean, it's kind of big enough for a deluxe, but then it kind of weighs him down a lot, so he has to lean forward, kind of like a piggyback attachment. So I don't like these shoulder attachments here. What I like to do is, because they do kind of protrude too much. It's not, excuse me, knock the lights. They protrude too much away from his shoulder. It looks kind of funky. And they're too long for shoulder cannons, I think. So I'll take these out, and I'll rearrange this a little bit to not make it look as bulky in the back. So I'll take this, I'll turn it around, flip it down. This attaches right there like that, snaps in. And now he has something that looks like this. You take the guns, you attach one here, attach one there, and I think this looks better. It's not as bulky. He has some side cannons, and I think that looks better. But I mean, you know, if you can figure out what to do with them, that's great. You know, do what you will. But this is my favorite configuration of this Astrotrain when he's weaponized. So to bring everything full circle, I'm just going to transform him back into his shuttle mode, his flight mode, and I'm going to attach his backpack and this fifth gun here. Put it to the side. So let's see. Fold the fists in, just like that. And they have these little ports in there, and you have to twist his arms at a 180. And they fit into this little peg there. Tab it in. 180. Lift his arm up. Tab it in. And you can lift his hands up just like, I believe this side goes in like that. So once again, do the same to the other side. Just rotate it up, and it's just rests right there, just like that. So see his pits. Anyway, so what you're going to want to do now is work the legs. Oh, let me take these off. I forgot to take these off, and I'll put that together later. So you undo that, and you fold these back in. You just take those feet, you fold them back, and you open this up. So all you have to do is you don't have to move the train flaps, they stay there. And you detach these parts of the legs. This comes off, should come off nicely. There we go. Need to exercise. So actually, this, I believe, folds back to cover that. His abs up right there. And then you can bring this back like that, and it snaps in. Same thing here. Probably have better luck with this side than I do. So you make sure everything is connected tightly just like that, and it goes a lot easier. And then you take this part, you clip it up. You see everything forming. Now you want to seal this up with this back panel. Oops. They really don't stick together. But before you do that, I forgot one little part. This little wing right here. So it looks hidden, but it's there. You take these little panels, I believe they're right here, where my fingernail is, right there. You pull it out. Pull that out, and that disconnects this panel, which is probably one of the neatest parts. So before you want to do this, you want to take this apart a little bit, and you have this little notch there that goes right in there. So you're going to kind of pinch it in between. Make sure it goes deep enough. Otherwise, this will be hanging loose, and that would be incorrect. So you can fold these in just like that. You snap these in, both sides just like that. And then you worry about this one. You want to make sure it's deep enough, and then you pinch them. Once you pinch them, you want to make sure that this cover covers these little notches right there. It takes a little push, and there you go. It's nice and tight. And here is his shuttle mode. Just like that. Let me put this to the side. Here's his landing gear with the wheels. And I don't see any more wheels here, I guess. Strange, but he has these wheels at least. So let's fix up his launch pad. So these guns come off. I'm gonna armor that up in a second. And it just chills just like that. Fold this in like this right here, and it just fits right in these little tabs here. You just put it in. Very simple. And then you take this, and you want to make sure that it's together like that. Okay, and then these wheels, once again, these wheels will pop out once they put pressure on the black panels here. So it goes in just like this. 1 and 2. And once again, it really doesn't stay flat or flush. Nothing, I guess it's just too tight here, too tight to fit. Maybe if you're handy, you could sand it down a little, but this is it. And put the 3 ports in to go with it. And if there's a way to get this motorized, it'd be nice to just have it slowly rotating just like that. I'm sure there's a way somehow, but I like how it does rotate. It's kind of like almost like he's in a display. But before I do that, let me put his weapons on real fast. This is crooked. Let me bring it back. There we go. That's better. So let me just do it right here, actually. So to put his weapons on, as per the instructions again, this goes here. It's one of the but the smaller cannons, and you can tell it's a smaller cannon because it actually has this little divot or this little gap going inward. So this cannon goes on either side. Doesn't really matter to me. Goes there. There's no place for it in the bottom. Maybe here, but it's kind of less visible right there, you know. But it's whatever. The instructions recommend there. You take these 2 cannons and you just put them in these ports there, however you'd like. And now he is set. So I think Astrotrain Siege Astrotrain is a great figure. It's the same as Earthrise, but my only problem is that he should be bigger like Jetfire. I think he deserves it. I mean, Astrotrain's paid his dues. Aside from that, he looks great in his robot mode. You know, his locomotive and his alternate modes could have been more Cybertronian, but you know, for what they are, they're pretty good versions, and it's a good up-to-date. All in all, it's a good up-to-date version of Astrotrain. So this is my review, and I recommend you pick them up definitely. So this has been my review of War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Astrotrain Commander class. And if you like the content on this channel, please drop a like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications of future content from this channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Optimus Frank, and I'll see you next time.